Welcome to Small Town Pulse with Steve and Melissa, where the stories are good, the coffee's strong, and the charm is home brewed.
We bring you the heart of small town living,
One story,
one sip,
and one beat at a time. So welcome to Small Town Pulse with Steve and Melissa. Today we have Terry Vaughn, President of Main Street Association, and
Taylorsville Main
Taylorsville.
Street.
I'm sorry, I'm still waking up. It's finally getting back on track on getting some sleep, and I'm not used to it. But so we know that you have the progressive dinner coming up. We'd like to talk about that, and we'd also like to talk about the beautification projects that you're all working on. So tell us a little bit about the progressive dinner that is going to be happening on the 26th of September, Saturday,
27th.
Thank you, Melissa, for keeping us straight. So let's hear a little bit about the progressive dinner and what they do. And
Yeah, because this is going to be my first year actually attending. I've had tickets for 2 years in a row and
Okay.
haven't made it because last year it rained and I just couldn't drag my husband out. And the year before that, I don't remember what it was that we couldn't end up making it. But I'm really excited to go this year, and I have no clue what it even is.
It's really cool from the perspective of, first of all, our sponsorships have grown dramatically. Sharon Woodworth, our secretary, is just taking that's her
baby.
That's her baby. That's her thing to do every year, and she sets a goal and she says, "I'm going to go get this number of sponsors," and it's been fantastic. Sharon's, she's easy to talk to. She's it's hard to turn her down.
Right.
So that's gone really well. Progressive Dinner is our largest fundraiser of the year. So that's always good between the sponsors, between the merchants on Main Street providing charcuterie boards, desserts. I think is it the chamber or tourism is doing with events on Main is doing wine and cheese, which is always a big hit. But I can tell you
I feel like people are going to linger at that one a little bit.
Yeah, it's going to be nice because it's indoors.
Right.
It's got a nice capability there. I can remember I always thought like, well, what's the progressive dinner? And I made the assumption, wrongly, that you're going to go to one person's house and then go to another person's house and go to another person's house. No, it's all on Main Street. It's just, and it's a very casual. You're just walking and just going from place to place. That's providing, and we usually have, I don't know, there's like 12, 15, maybe 18 different spots you get to go to get a different type of food or beverage. So it's really good.
It should be fun.
Yeah.
And you don't have to do it in any, like you could eat dessert first if you wanted, right?
You could go any direction you want.
Yeah.
Now, Sharon, I will tell you, Bev with the Red Scooter does desserts every year.
Right.
And they're all homemade. And
She said some of the booth vendors at Red Scooter get involved and help make them.
yeah, and I buy a whole apple pie or cherry pie. Sharon makes the cherry pies. I buy the whole pie. I don't give anybody a chance to get in there and get that. So the last 2 years I've gotten that. So.
I heard you were in charge of bringing the ice.
They
don't let you do the cooking, huh?
No, I did the cooking for
Girlfriend's Day, and it was good.
Day. Yeah. I'm still in trouble for that. It took me a while to get the grill cleaned up.
That was a lot of pork you had to grill.
That was a lot.
Yeah.
That was a lot.
And you also usually you get volunteers. The kids from the church would volunteer to help
Serve
and
the meal. We've had the meal at events on Main. We've had it at the chamber. This year we're having it at a chamber. I think we're going to get a tent outdoors on Main Cross as well, because some people they like the vibe of walking up and down Main Street and Main Cross and eating and they don't want to go inside.
Right.
So I think we're going to have a tent outdoors so that people can eat. Have a little bit of indoor outdoor. Kind of have a choice.
That's
there.
cool. Yeah. Yep. And I know usually when you all have the progressive dinner, I'm either at work or I have a show. So I'm trying to see. I think I have a show that weekend again. I think it's Ham Days, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not going to quote for sure because as you can tell, I'm already getting dates wrong. So,
We can't trust your dates.
no, don't trust me.
That's why you have a boss, Steve.
That's it. That's it. I have to have her tell me all these things. Yeah, and I know the desserts because we have that booth in the front by
That's
the
right,
red
we have to
scooter.
clear it out.
We clear it out, so
Uh-huh.
this way they can put all the desserts in there. So yeah, it's been kind of cool, and it's an event that I've seen grow over the years.
It has.
I know sometimes a little bit harder because at the times you only had the tickets that you could buy at the Red Scooter or at Teacup, but now I know that you can order them.
You can get them online. Go onto our Facebook, and there's a link to Zephy. Another thing that people don't realize, a lot of people that I run into say, well, I wish I'd have known this or that. And we're doing a much better job of marketing thanks to Melissa and Paige and their team. And we get a tremendous amount more feedback and interaction now with people. The other thing is, sometimes people can't go. But we also have on that online the ability to donate. So if you just want to purchase the tickets, or if you don't want to purchase tickets, you can just donate $10, $20, $100, whatever you want to donate. That all goes to the beautification projects. People ask, well, what are the beautification projects? It actually started, I think, well before I was involved, back in 2007, 2010. They started on the Main Street where Red Scooter and the Teacup and the Chamber are. Put stamped concrete in between the curb and the road curb and the sidewalk. Put planters and benches down there. And then that went through 2 phases. The last couple of years, we completed the project on Jefferson Street, which is right by the Fix-It shop, and
SC Powerhouse is there
SC
now
Powerhouse.
too. Yeah.
I always think, you always get the acronym. I forget the acronym. Spencer County weightlifting there. But down that street, we've put landscape curbing in, we put lighting in, we put lighting on the bridge going across Salt River. So the project we're focused on now is from Washington Street at Main all the way to the bridge on Highway 44. Several people have commented, hey, those lights are pretty, first of all, there's only 2 of them. They're really old and rusted. They really like the lights on Salt River, so they want us to put new lighting over there as well. So we're looking at that. We're also involved with some people in town to put more greenery. We've had a number of people show up and say, you've got a beautiful, gorgeous downtown, but there's not a lot of landscaping, not a lot of greenery. And some people in leadership have finally recognized that. And so we're going to have the ability to put some trees up downtown. So,
Which I think will give it a lot of charm.
it will make a difference.
It will.
I think coming to the courthouse, the chamber, TK, everything. There's just you'll see a few trees, but not many compared to a lot of downtowns. Mount Washington put in a lot of trees. Down there on Bardstown Road, which made it really nice.
And big, gorgeous azalea bushes, or not azalea, hydrangea bushes.
Hydrangea bushes,
Yeah,
yeah.
huge, really pretty.
So we're looking forward to that. It's we'll probably have a mock-up board for people to see at the Progressive Dinner
That'd be great.
of the project.
So 100% of proceeds from Progressive Dinner go towards those projects.
100% of proceeds of anything we do.
I was just saying 100% donations, everything.
Donations. The city pays the executive director a portion of that person. It's a part of our accreditation from the state of Kentucky and national that we have a paid executive director. It's a pittance. It's a small fee, but so
She still puts in a lot of volunteer hours, Beth does, yeah.
She does, and I know you've taken a lot of that off of her, but still, I know how
Try
Bev
to,
is.
but Bev's-
Bev's a stickler.
Yeah,
She's
you try to
great.
help. It's you would not believe, just talking to her, how much clerical stuff there is involved in keeping your accreditation for Main Street. I mean, it's paperwork shuffle constantly for her.
I had no idea, being involved for 7 or 8 years, different capacities on the design committee for the beautification stuff, and then now moving into the president's role. I was shocked at the amount of effort it takes, and she did everything, pretty much manually. They've at least allowed us to do stuff online, which helped. That's helped her and I combine to be able to do that, because I took care of all the online stuff, but she provided all the content. So, it was a lot of work.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot, especially when you're talking about government agencies and things like that. It makes it harder to try and get what you need done, because there's sometimes a lot of that red tape you got to go through, and if you don't follow it to the T, you got to start back from the beginning and all that. I mean, I've been to a few of the Main Street meetings, like in the beginning when I first got here. They were trying to recruit me onto the Main Street committee, and it just didn't.
We're still.
I know.
I was gonna say, we will gladly still accept you, Steve.
It's just kind of hard with my work schedule, and that was the biggest thing, because when you have your meetings, I'm at work.
Yeah.
A couple of times I called out just to be at the meetings, but it just.
That's hard to do in this
I think
economy.
that's how we first met, I think.
Yeah, when I came down to the meetings, I know you were a big proponent of that Jefferson Street.
It's how I got involved. It's one of the things that I've actually had a person events on Maine's ribbon cutting. A lady, Pam Blair, I think was her name. She goes, "Hey, I filled out one of those cards." She goes, "I'm assuming you guys are going to contact us." She goes, I want to help." She works at the PVA office.
Great.
Yeah, and I said, "Yep, that's why we had you fill out the cards."
Jim has all of those.
Yeah, so it's people ask the question about volunteers. I started out volunteering. I was fortunate that I had a career that I traveled a lot, and I didn't get a chance to do as much community stuff as I wanted to. And so my boss, when I started to move towards retirement, he says, "Hey, you need to do that. It's important. You've mentioned it multiple times." And so I walked into the teacup and asked about the lights on the bridge, because I saw they built a new bridge and they had it stubbed out, and I'm like, David usually, I learned that he pretty much knows what's going on.
Yeah.
About everything.
About everything in town. And so he says, "It's interesting that you ask." And then I said, it took a long time. I went back in and I said, "So what about the lights?" And I said, "Hey, I'll buy a light." I said, "But I want no recognition. I want my name. I don't want a plaque. I'll buy one of the lights." And next thing you know, I'm chasing down the red tape in the government.
Trying to get the light installed, the whole deal.
Well, a lot of it had to do, y'all were working on that, and then COVID hit, and then that delayed everything else on that.
Always.
Yeah, because you couldn't find anybody.
Right.
And Sisler and Maggart do the engineering for the city, and they're like, "Yeah, we're kind of stuck right here," and then so and so is not there anymore, and it was an effort. But, you got to have a lot of patience to be involved. It's not like being in government. We're not. Although we're elected from other people, of our peers to be on Taylorsville Main Street, we're not necessarily elected by the constituents or the leaders, but our relationship with the city and the county is very important. But,
Yeah, and I know just in the short time that I've been a part of it, I've seen a lot of the changes that y'all have done. I know that Kim, the master gardener, takes care of a lot of the plants and the whole group.
She takes care of a lot.
Yeah, she does. She does.
she's the gourd fairy. She takes care of all the master gardeners.
I think she's been at every event this year.
She's the photographer.
Yeah.
Now that Melissa and Paige are involved, it helps a lot.
Yeah.
But Kim's car shows. She
Yeah.
does a lot.
She does a lot.
Yeah, and that's another thing that you guys brought back with in conjunction with the car show people and
Laketown Cruisers.
Laketown Cruisers. Yeah, because I happened to be at that meeting when we had that discussion that time with them. She was getting some ideas, and it seems to be picking up and kind of.
I think people are really enjoying just having something to come do on a
Right.
Saturday night.
I think they're looking for something to do downtown. And obviously that's what we're all about, is trying to figure out how to have an after 5 p.m. activities. It's what we're focused on. We had our a bus tour where we took community people and went to 4 different cities and generated a bunch of ideas. And that's what it was meant to do. It was meant to grow our relationships with city and county and different business leaders and say, hey, it's amazing how many people, they want to be involved. They don't know exactly how they want to be involved. But going and looking at what other communities have done, bring the best of that stuff back. So we've got a pretty good plan put together for, what our long-term vision is and make it walkable, make it so that people, I've told people all the time, I live between Bloomfield and Taylorsville. So we'll go to Bloomfield and go to Ernie's Cafe or go to Froggy's and you see how many people are in Bloomfield? They don't even have a stoplight.
Right.
They've eliminated it. And there's amazing how many people, and Taylorsville needs that.
We do.
It needs it. And so that's what we're focused on. We since Melissa's got involved, more and more involved, so we started putting together a map after we, first of all, we now know there's an historical map. There's an historical district. We know that. We know what it looks like when we're talking about getting it expanded, because there's a lot of historical tax credits that people can leverage to remodel their buildings and those things. But
And so many are in desperate need of that.
there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them. You start looking at what's going on downtown. Like I took that map and laid it out and said, investment, opportunities. There's quite a bit going on. Yeah. And I think we need to get the message out more.
Buildings, people are starting to shake loose of some of these old buildings that have been sitting vacant so that people can, restore them.
I went to the Historical Society. I was going to tell you,
Okay.
the lady that she just they had a little event there. The family that was there, their house and their farm got wiped out when they built the lake.
Okay.
And they had them there from the historical perspective. It was
Uh-huh.
really neat.
Yeah.
And they made all these wooden objects. The guy made wooden trains, and he just learned how to do it. Him and his wife, amazing. But anyway, she came up to me and she said, "So, hello, and she was curious as to why I was there, because I didn't say anything, I didn't introduce myself. I just showed up and just observed.
Mm-hmm.
But she said, yeah, she goes, those articles you guys are doing on your Facebook about these old buildings, like what was it? And she says they were really getting a kick out of that.
Oh, good.
And, saw all the interaction that people were having with us about
How
the old
much
buildings.
people really enjoy hearing about that.
Yeah.
It shocked me, honestly, it really did. I mean, at how much people are invested in it, how much they want to talk about it.
Yeah. It starts a conversation.
They ask questions,
Yeah.
like, well, what was this building then, and what was that building then, and they're finding it really neat to see what it used to be, and I think it's giving them hope for what it can be, or inspiring them for what it can be.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, that's going to take a lot of volunteers. That's going to take some people coming in and making some investment in our downtown. It's going to take a lot from the Main Street Board and from all the organizations from the city, the county, tourism, chamber, everybody. But hopefully together we can all make some stuff happen.
Well, like until last week, when I spoke to Bev, when talking about getting back on the podcast, I didn't know that there was a fire downtown that pretty much wiped out
Yes.
all of downtown
Yeah.
in 1913.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's
The jail, multiple buildings, yeah.
And it all started in one business.
Yep.
And don't quote me on it, but I believe it was a welding business that was downtown, somewhere not on Main Street exactly, but behind Main Street.
And that's what she said. She wasn't sure if it was off the top of her head, if it was that or
Gerard,
a blacksmith.
Or
Blacksmith.
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 That's what it was,
Blacksmith.
blacksmith. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, you're right. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I don't think we had welding
There probably
shops in
wasn't welding
1930.
equipment in 1913. Yeah, probably not.
Might have been.
you never know. You never know. But yeah, and I mean, there's been talk about the Stigler house that they're trying to bring back after, I know that there's some money there, but people are just waiting for that to get started. So,
They actually have, I think, when I was at the Historical Society, they got the last bit. I don't know if it's the last bit, but they got a significant investment. They had an anonymous investor don't know who that was. Obviously, they're anonymous. But, they're pretty sure they're going to be able to get the foundation put back in, and then they're talking to the person who took it down and labeled everything about coming back and putting it back together. So things were looking pretty positive here a month ago.
That'll be really neat to follow.
Yeah.
That'll be an important piece of history to get back up in our downtown area.
Which, by the way, I learned from Katie, the person that runs the Kentucky State Historical
Preservation, something or
credits.
other.
Yeah, where you get. Unfortunately, they took that down before they got involved, or they could have had those tax credits. Could have helped.
It was, from what I understand, there was a misunderstanding in what they were told and what they could do.
Yeah.
And I know, speaking to a couple of people, they told me that if they would have gone through the steps first, they would have been able to get the preservation taken care of. But now it becomes more of a reconstruction. So it still can be some tax credits, but not as much as they would have had if they would have done it before. But that'd be cool to, because again, I didn't know about the house and what he did for the
spy that saved
the
the
spy
Union.
that saved the Union.
Yeah.
Yep. So it's kind of cool listening to the stories and stuff. And
It's,
I'm a big
it's
history
always so
buff.
neat to learn, what the oldest standing house in Spencer County is. It's right there in our historic downtown.
Yeah.
The one right on Girard and Main.
Yeah,
Main Cross.
yeah,
The
it
one
looks.
down
Yeah,
front.
it's like a wooden house, and just like what the courthouse was originally built to be the People's Bank, what this building was originally built by. There's just so many neat things.
Yeah. And they have the plaques on there, like for the
Some of them,
courthouse.
yeah.
And that'd be cool to have on some of the older buildings so that we know more about. Because people will just walk up and just look at it and not know, it's okay, it's a
I think
courthouse.
that's what we're doing on the Facebook, our Taylorsville Main Street Facebook is. That's why I think we're having such dialogue with people, is because they're interacting, because they're curious. So one of the things that we're involved with is there's the Historical Society is doing this. They're America 250. They're having, obviously across the United States, is having a celebration next July. So the Historical Society is going back, because Taylorsville wasn't incorporated during the First War, but the Second War it was. And the Historical Society is working on trying to identify anybody that was involved, people from Taylorsville, Spencer County that may have passed away.
And they've identified a bunch.
Yeah.
They've identified a bunch. The other thing is new, and Scott Travis told me this, the memorial, the Veterans Wall, anybody in Spencer County that has a relative that was honorably discharged from the military, like my dad was in the military, but he didn't live here, but I live here, you can get a name placard put on the wall, and it's free. It used to cost money. It used to be there's a whole lot of. Scott says we need to get the word out. People say, well, "What are you going to do when you fill up the wall?" He says, "We'll build another one." So I think that's important. But that's part of America 250. Is we're still going through the design processes, putting up a clock tower downtown, but having the base be where they could put the America 250 veterans.
Oh, nice. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Being part of tourism, we've done a lot with America 250. I know we had
You guys have been very involved.
the two lights a couple of months ago that they did, where Paul Revere ran down.
Rode down.
Yeah,
Rode
rode
down
down.
on the horse.
On the horse. He looked kind of scared, especially when traffic was coming at him. So
That
but
probably
it-
wasn't happening in Paul Revere's
no,
real
not
ride.
in full.
Yeah.
But it was kind of cool. It was, and there was a gentleman there that was talking about getting everybody up in arms and getting ready to go out there. The Rockin' Cowboys was kind of cool. Listening, that little kid shredded.
They are so cute.
shredded that guitar. So I mean, I thought it was like a little Jimi Hendrix. Listening to him play.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there's a lot that is going on, and people need to know, and it's hard for them to understand sometimes and see where it's going. But like you said, with Facebook and you all putting everything out there, I know it's early that we're talking about the progressive dinner, but you also do the home tours during Christmas.
Christmas home tours.
Yeah. So and people need
We're
to.
almost, or we are, no, we're almost into the bird month, so we're allowed to talk about Christmas now
Well,
officially.
Well,
By the time this airs,
right,
we'll be
by the
allowed
time
to
this-
officially talk about Christmas.
Yeah.
It's going to be 49 degrees a couple nights from now.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm so
49
excited.
degrees.
That's
yeah.
fire
it's-
pit weather. I'm excited about that.
But yeah, I mean, and I know there's a process to get your house on there if you want to have people be on
Yeah,
the
you
home
see
tour.
Bev at the red scooter. Obviously, we've had some people that do it continually every year, but it's 6 homes, usually 6 or 7, and
And 1 or 2 businesses, I think, too, typically.
no, but sometimes the homes are the businesses.
Oh, okay,
Like
gotcha.
for example, it was the
Driscoll's.
The Driscoll did it because they opened up a new event center, a little small event center there, so they did it. So yeah, it's been some businesses, the Magnolia Barn, and then a number of houses, and it's really cool. So
And that's a fundraiser for Main Street too, right?
It's a
You say
fundraiser.
You pay a ticket price to have access to the tour information.
correct.
And it all happens on one day?
It's one day. It's December. I now put all these in my
Uh-huh.
phone, so
I was gonna say, I don't know that one off the top of my head.
that
think
one
it's
is
like-
December 6th.
Sixth, yeah. She's
December
December
6th.
December.
Yeah, first Saturday in December.
Yeah, Bev's good at keeping those dates. It's like it's
The only
this
one that
Saturday.
messes this up is
Girlfriend's Day.
Girlfriend's Day because it's on a day.
Yeah.
It's always August 1st, right?
Whether it's a Wednesday or a Saturday.
Yeah,
or-
but still, that's one of those. It's always August 1st.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it makes it a little bit easier
To
you know,
remember,
to
yeah.
remember,
Yeah.
and especially like like the Gourd Festival. You have vendors that'll come out there, and a lot of people don't understand vendors sometimes plan out a year in advance. You're booked a year before you go to these things,
Yeah.
and then things happen, things fall through, and then okay, yeah, I could pick this one up, but a lot of times you want to know that stability so you know how things work. And I know that week of the progressive dinner, there's a lot of other stuff going on too, so it's kind of cool. We'll be talking more about that on some other episodes.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I've not gone to the Taylorsville Oktoberfest.
You have
And I'm not.
Oh.
Something happens. I'm not sure what happens during that, but I've never attended, and I'm shocked
Yeah.
at how big it's gotten, and so I'm looking forward to going this year.
Yeah, I spoke to them last week also, because I've been doing that show now for almost 4 years, and I've seen it grow in just the 4 years that I've been doing it, and they've said how it's grown. I mean, I think last year it looked like they had over easily 5,000 people.
Yeah, I think
It was a
there.
lot.
It was,
And I
it
think
was a lot.
over 200 booths maybe.
Something.
Don't quote me on that, but
Yeah,
it's
it
a
was
lot.
like it was at least 200 booths, if not more. They have a great lineup of musicians and acts, but yeah, I mean, there's a lot that goes on Main Street, and people need to know that. And so, it's great to have you on with us so that you can explain some of the stuff. And if there's any questions, they can reach out to you on Facebook or Instagram.
We have a website
have
launching
a
pretty
website.
soon. We got to get everybody to get their pictures taken. But
Can you believe people are avoiding me?
No.
When I come with the camera, they're like, not today.
yeah, so we got to get pictures taken, and we'll have a website. So it's going to be interesting to figure out what we put on our website versus what we put on our Facebook. We're trying, we've got multiple. We've had a good time working with tourism and working with the chamber. That has always not been a positive or an interactive relationship.
Right.
So there's a lot of things that I have different style from a leadership perspective, and it's you work and then you establish, hey, what does that organization do well? What does that organization do well? We don't want to replicate things from Taylorsville Main Street that other organizations are doing. The chamber focuses on business, tourism focuses on tourism. But working together, we've been able to, with Catherine and Melissa's leadership, figure out the best things for each of the organizations to do.
Yeah.
And so it's a lot of fun.
That's a smart way to do it, so you're not stepping on toes, and it's like, okay, well, we did something similar to that. Why not? But yes, get together and figure things out and do what you do best and pull from there.
And I think the
helps.
city and county
You
is
were on
really,
Main Street, and then you were on tourism, so that helps bridge that. And,
he helps with everything.
yeah.
He's involved in just enough of a little bit of everything.
I'm involved in too much, my wife says. Sometimes it's like,
That's what my husband says.
That's what my wife said. So, we're the problem.
we're the problem.
This
Sorry about
volunteer
that.
gig just
Yeah.
it keeps growing. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, it's tough, but you got to make some money to pay the bills,
You
so
do.
you got to do your other
Yeah.
jobs. So,
Yeah. But I tell you, what I always say is the more involved you get in your community, the more connected you are to your community.
Mm-hmm.
Not only the more information do you have, but you have a heart for it then. You want to see these things happen. You want to put your dollars where they count. You want to do all the things, the more you know.
Right.
So that's
Well,
what we just encourage people just to follow and get the info.
So, what was the big takeaway we had from the bus tour? The amount of pride that all four of these communities had, it was contagious.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was like you're just sitting there feeling these people and the pride they have of telling us, and they weren't telling us to like, hey, you need to do what we do. They were just proud of what they did. That capturing that was hopefully something that we can obtain here. As much as the beautification and all of that stuff, it's just the pride of the community that those groups had.
And the beautification goes with that, I think.
It does.
I think the more they see people invest in our historical downtown, the more people will be prideful about it, want to talk about it, want to share about it, want to come down and visit it.
Well, and we've got to come up with a better mechanism. Lots of people want to volunteer, and they don't know exactly how.
Or what.
Or what. The other thing that's very important is I think the price tag is going up. It's like $33.86 or something along those lines. For every volunteer hour we have in a given year, we track those volunteer hours. The Kentucky and National Main Street accreditation gives us financial credit. We don't get the money, but it's,
As an investment in the community.
yeah. So we track that, and I think we had $43,000 of volunteer hours this last year, from July 1st to June 31st. So it's working quite well. What's important that everybody understands that they come and work for us for an hour. Yeah, we're not paying them, and we're not getting the green dollars, but
it's shown as an investment in our community.
Well, it helps later on if you're looking for grants or stuff like
It
that.
does.
Hey, look, this is how many people are invested in our
Exactly,
belief.
yes.
Yeah,
If you
and-
choose us as a recipient of this grant, we've got the volunteers behind us to make it happen.
So that helps a lot. So yeah, I mean, I haven't logged my volunteer hours, and it doesn't have to be much. It's just walking around talking about Main Street is a volunteer hour, because whenever I go to other counties and do shows and stuff, I always bring up there's a Main Street Society. There's this, come down and visit us. It's
this is a volunteer hour.
Yeah.
That,
Right.
Yeah.
we get credit for, and it's nobody tracks the number of hours that they're putting in.
right.
If Melissa tracked all of her hours, if everybody tracked all their hours, we're doing a better job, far better than we did when I first started with Taylorsville Main Street. So.
That's cool.
All right, so best way for them to get involved, come to a meeting.
Come to a meeting. We have first Thursday of every month. We have a meeting from 5:30 to 7.
And that's at the city annex.
City Annex. Unless they're having a meeting, then we broadcast
move
it. We're going to move it. But most 89% of the time, it's at the City Hall Annex, right next to the Water Department. Contact any one of the board members or anybody you know.
Yeah.
In this crew here. But get a hold of us. Again, we're going to have a website. That'll have all the contact information. Facebook, we have mechanisms on our Facebook to contact us.
Yeah. All the events you can see there on the Facebook
You
page
get
as
involved.
well.
People say, well, what do you do for volunteers? It takes about 5 hours and 6 or 7 people just to decorate Main Street for Christmas. And everybody comments how they love the lights, that we put up on the poles. And
Yeah.
the new banners, and then the benches. So 6 people, 5 hours apiece. That's a lot of time. We've had issues where we can't coordinate because it takes 5 people to put up the Christmas lights. We got one person driving the fork truck. You got one person on the ground, 2 people up on the platform. So
somebody has to untangle all the lights.
It's yeah. So anytime anybody wants to volunteer, get involved, let us know.
And if
Stop in and see Dave. He's the best recruiter we have. Stop in and see Dave at the Teacup or Bev or any number of the people. There's 3 or 4 people that work at the Red Scooter that also work on our Main Street. It's our de facto headquarters.
Right.
And if anybody has a question, they could always reach us on the Facebook page.
Yeah.
And we can direct them in the right direction to help them out.
On the Small Town Pulse.
Yeah, on the Small Town Pulse. So
I thank you for having the opportunity to be here, Melissa, Steve. Thank you very much.
thank you for coming in this early.
Looking forward. It's not early. It wasn't early for me. I get up when the sun comes up.
It is for me. I work second shift, so get up early.
Well, thank you for getting up early and attending your show.
But that's how I can do this stuff. It's kind of fun doing it. So either early mornings or on my days off. So it works out. But yeah, I mean, it's a fun thing. It's great what you guys do for the community, and we appreciate what you do. So thank you.
Thank you for what you do.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
That's all for today's episode of Small Town Pulse. Thanks for sharing a little bit of your day with us.
We'll be back soon with more voices, more stories, and more of the heart that makes small towns shine.
Until then, keep listening
Keep smiling.
and always keep your finger on the pulse.